Janine Cava. I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of the New Jersey Food Democracy Collaborative. Welcome to the June Lunch and Learn. We do Lunch and Learns throughout the year, almost every month. And today's Lunch and Learn topic is the new Roots Fresh Stops Market mobile app and program launching in Atlantic City and Phillipsburg this year, this season. NJFDC's Lunch and Learn topic ideas come from the work of its 4 working groups. And this topic today comes out of the work of NJFDC's Inclusive Markets Working Group. It's my pleasure and honor and joy right now to introduce my colleague and friend and mentor, Karen Moskowitz, a well-seasoned community organizer known by many of us in the room today. Karen's been leading food justice movements for the past 25 years in Indiana, Kentucky, and recently has returned home to New Jersey, Monmouth County, to spread the word that fresh food is a basic human right. She is a founder and executive director of New Roots, the Fresh Stop Market model of sliding scale farm shares, and the New Roots Fresh Stops Market mobile app. She's also on staff at Interfaith Neighbors in Asbury Park, where she is the coordinator of the Building a Healthier and More Equitable Community. And Karen is also one of the original advisory board members of New Jersey Food Democracy Collaborative back in 2020, and one of the original founding members of the Inclusive Markets Working Group. So take it away, Karen. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you, Janine. Welcome to all my friends and family. I'm so excited you could join us for our virtual celebration of the New Jersey New Roots Fresh Stop Market mobile app, which launched just a few weeks ago. So this is all very new. But I want to begin with where it all started, with one single tomato in the Walmart parking lot of a small rural town in southern Indiana. I couldn't understand why my growing family had to struggle so hard to access local fresh produce in a town that was surrounded by farms. And that question sparked the creation of several food justice nonprofits, including the Orange County Homegrown Farmers Market in Paoli, now in its 24th year. But later we moved to Louisville, Kentucky, into what many called an urban food desert. And the same issue reappeared, but even more complex being in an urban environment, as many of you know, although all has its challenges. We tried recruiting farmers to local markets in the neighborhood, but they couldn't make it work financially. Prices were just too high for residents, and farmers needed to make a living. That's when we discovered the Fresh Stop Market model, which was inspired by a similar effort in Cleveland, Ohio. And the idea is simple, but very powerful. Individual families may not have the means to buy fresh produce directly from farmers, but together we have purchasing power and we have agency. And with help from New Roots, our nonprofit, philanthropy, our local farmers, and the strength of community organizing, the Kentucky Fresh Stop Markets were born. And here's how the model works. We forecast with farmers and families in the winter, and then in the spring, families sign up for a subscription and begin to pool resources and pay bi-weekly on a sliding scale based on income and a household size. And this happens a week before each market, promising farmers a market and reducing their risk. We've partnered with churches, community centers, and businesses to host sites and grow our shareholder base. And then 10 years in, we hit a plateau until we won a contest hosted by Louisville-based tech company Slingshot, here with us today. The prize was a custom Fresh Stop Market app. We drew together our Kentuckiana Brain Trust, leaders, shareholders, farmers, donors, and with a year of listening and designing, we launched. And with it, we grew from 200 to 700 families nearly overnight. Then in 2021, on a visit home to New Jersey, unfortunately, I saw the harsh reality facing Monmouth County's food desert communities, and I decided to stay and help. And honestly, it felt like landing in Narnia. And it wasn't just the pizza, you all, but things like the New Jersey Economic Development Authority asking for input on food desert designations, the new rising Office of Food Security Advocate, and the spirit of collaboration that really gave me hope. And at our 2024 Inclusive Markets Retreat for the New Jersey Food Democracy Collaborative in Asbury Park, hosted by me, it became clear our model with our app had the potential to scale across the whole Garden State. Lisa Newcomb from Crops, who's present today from Atlantic City, raised her hand to pilot. Christine Perauta from Food Shed Alliance and Lisa Weber from NorWestCap and Diana Morrison, at the time with NorWestCap, soon joined. After a year of fundraising and collaboration with Slingshot, we successfully adapted the app for use by multiple New Jersey organizations, and we switched over to a new operating system, Maui. Next on the horizon, well, we recently entered the SNAP Online pilot with the USDA. Fingers crossed, we would become the first organization and state to offer this via a custom mobile app. Kudos to Slingshot and our partners for their drive and patience to get this done. But why is this so important? Why am I sharing this with you all today? Why are we having this party to celebrate? But we don't celebrate enough, that's for sure. But because the need is urgent. Families across New Jersey are still standing in long lines. I just came from one of those long lines this morning at the Jewish Family Children's Services, and often they're separated from their neighbors. They're receiving food that may hurt more than heal. Meanwhile, our farmers want to help but can't afford to give food away. Well, this model and this app changes that. It's for everyone. The sliding scale invites people from all income levels to come together and share in New Jersey's harvest, year-round if desired and possible, which is what Crops has just modeled. And farmers earn fair prices, and food justice becomes part and built into their business model. So we're moving away from a charity approach to a justice approach. Families are asked what they want to eat, invited into leadership, and empowered to make choices about their food. And with the app, we can scale that across the state. So right now we have our 2 pilots, as mentioned, but our vision, Fresh Stop Markets in every New Jersey county. Now, with the help of Soph from Crops, I would like to introduce, drum roll, the New Roots Fresh Stop Market mobile app. So you see, I'm starting from the left and moving over to the right. I'm not showing you the app live. I thought that'd be too awkward, but I'm showing you screenshots. So you see what the app looks like in the App Store for iOS. And then you see how to sign in on the New Roots app, and then choosing an account with your Gmail. So if you want to pull it forward, signing in again on the left, Google announcing they're going to share everything about you, as usual, but hard to get away from. And then we start to see this beautiful app designed by Slingshot with the mission of New Roots, that fresh food is a basic human right, and igniting community power for fresh food access is our business, and inviting the shareholder to sign up. So you click on Let's Begin, and then we slide over to explaining our lingo, what's a share, and signing you up as a shareholder. Next, Soph. We gather names. We have an optional phone number gathering. And then we have also gathering of not mandatory to put your home address, but city, state, and zip code. And as it says on the app, this will help people find their nearest market. So if you're putting in a Phillipsburg zip code, you're going to be sent over to the NorWestCap version of the app and be able to order your shares at their market. And the same thing with Atlantic City. So, okay, so next, we explain our sliding scale, and believe me, having this on 3 slides is a miracle of Slingshot's work, helping us be able to do this so concisely and eloquently. We explain about how we're going to introduce the sliding scale and how we're going to determine your price. And this is all led by the shareholder. We don't gather any proof, if you will, of income status. So first we have how many people in the household. Then we have, is your income less or more than this amount? This is 200% of poverty in New Jersey. So that's what we chose. So here I choose yes. And now Crops, and in fact, right, Soph will talk soon about we're going to have 3 markets in Atlantic City. So we're already replicating in Atlantic City, and we just began in February. So here I'm choosing to go to the Crops Food Hub, which is their site on Tennessee Avenue. And it was ranked by the proximity to my home because I put in the Food Hub as my home address. Then I've chose for you just to show you what happens when someone on Snap wants to use the app and we push on Snap. Maybe go back one, so. And then talking about, yes, that of course there's donations and philanthropy making this happen. Okay, next. And then you have the choice of adding a second share for recurring through the subscription. And then for now, but remember, I just mentioned we're entering that online SNAP pilot program with the USDA. So this is going to change hopefully very rapidly, fingers crossed. Here you have a choice to click on OK or just and move on or contact SOF. So pull forward SOF. And you see that SOF gets an email and then SOF will contact the shareholder and be able to run the SNAP card. 2 weeks legally, we have to run the SNAP card before the market, and then the SNAP cards can be run at the market for the next time. So we're having bi-weekly markets. And here finally is the final page showing me I'm a shareholder. I have 2 shares, where I'm going to pick up. I can click on learn more and go to the crops website to learn what's coming in the share, farm stories, etc. I can skip. We're allowed to skip up to 3 shares per growing season if you go on vacation, etc. Then you can click on review or modify if you want to go in and change before the market. And you can see that next screenshot that what it looks like in the back. Okay, next. So here we have the profile of the shareholder and where you can cancel your share. So anyone at any moment can get out of the subscription. And finally, the contact us for SOF and the beautiful map showing where is this Fresh Stop Market or Farm Share program in Atlantic City. And then last slide, finally, we can see that all the dates are listed as you scroll down on the app for the entire growing season. Thank you for taking the tour with me of the New Roots Fresh Stop Market mobile app. And so if I don't need the screen anymore, but I am going to hand the microphone over to my friend and colleague, David Galaunia, who is the CEO of Slingshot, our tech partner. Thank you, David, for coming and for all you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me, I've got a little mini deck to share with you guys, and mostly it's just going to have pictures, which are, of course, a lot of fun to look at. So first of all, thank you everybody for having us here today. Obviously, with the New Roots app, it's grown in success, and it's awesome to see it go sort of nationwide. And as the owner of a tech company, you might think, we just want to build stuff. We want to build cool stuff, which is partially true. We do want to do that, but what really drives our
Dave,
company
we're seeing
is,
your notes, not your deck.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
oh, wait, what are you?
I did see them
Okay.
at first.
Yeah, I did too.
Came up
Let
at
me
first
see.
and then it jumped away. So just want to make
Oh,
sure.
that's weird. Okay, thank you, Sarah. All right, now are you seeing my deck?
Yes.
Okay, good. So let me do something. Go to, let's see. Well, we'll just do it in here.
Yeah.
So, okay, now you can see these cool pictures. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. So you can see, but as a tech company, what really inspires us is that we want to do stuff that has actual impact. One of the worst things you can do as a tech company is you build something, it goes out there, and then nobody uses it. It's very depressing. So, working with New Roots years ago, this was a community project. We wanted to do something pro bono, help out an organization, and they were among, I believe, 25 different nonprofits applied to have something built. And we met with Karen and her team, as you can see here, and we were really impacted by the mission, and it was really relevant, and we believe that technology would have a very strong impact. So of course we set across this journey. And I do want to call out a number of people who are on the call today. Some of them are in this picture, actually. We have Chris Staley, who's put a lot of work in building this mobile app way back in the day. Rachel Foster, I don't know if she's on or not, but she is the primary UX UI designer. A lot of the very colorful screens are results from her. And then we have Chris Howard, who really served to organize the project and kind of shepherd along and bringing the app to life. He is here as well. So big nod to you guys. Then also, that team was largely built, was the original team that built it. And we also have Irina and Nathan and Sarah involved with the product and development. Irina on the mobile app, Nathan on a lot of the back end work, and Sarah now kind of taking the charge of organizing the product and the changes with it. So yeah, I want to show you some other pictures here. This is us working with the New Roots team early on. Here's Chris Howard in the blue shirt, saying something about Apple probably. And this is kind of a picture of the process. When we build apps, we like to sort of talk to everybody and gather all the information and put a lot of thought into what we're building. Again, because we want to make sure whatever we do has impact. So really cool photo there. And this is us at a Fresh Stop Market, volunteering one time, because we actually wanted to go there and see. A lot of us are big into vegetables, myself included. My kids eat asparagus and Brussels sprouts and mustard greens, believe it or not, because I like keeping them healthy and like vegetables myself. So that's me. Next, some carrots. Really love that photo. And yeah, so we'll leave it there. But really, I wanted to say thank you to everyone. We're really excited to see where this app is going, and we're happy to support it for a long time, and really grateful for this opportunity to work with everybody. And I do want to, before I hand it back off to somebody else, I know Chris Howard, you wanted to say a couple words.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can. I'll be quick. But it's funny looking back at those photos. Rachel back then had blue hair and I had more hair. So but when we so it's been several years ago when we first designed and built the app, and it's cool. I haven't seen it in a while, but watching Karen go through the screens, it still looks awesome, which is great to see. And to this day, honestly, the New Roots app remains one of my favorites. It's and we built a lot of apps here at Slingshot. So back when Rachel and I were designing it, we met so many awesome shareholders and got to spend time. Actually, we went to people's homes and sat down and talked to them about their experience and what they hoped the app could help them with. And we took some awesome field trips to farms. I remember doing that. I mean, that was a great experience, just to go and just kind of see the full cycle, the whole process. So so it was a great experience. And Karen, I mean, Karen, she's just I love her passion for it. So it's been a very enjoyable experience, and I love that you're just continuing on. So it's fun to build apps that really make a difference, and I think definitely with New Roots that's the case here.
Oh my God, I'm getting choked up. But I'm wondering, why didn't you show the bourbon bar? Because that's really kept everybody motivated and Slingshot. No, just kidding. Wonderful. Okay, I'm going to get it together. I'm choked up. I want to introduce Lisa Newcomb, my friend and colleague, Executive Director of Crops, New Jersey and Atlantic City. Take it away, Lisa.
Hi, I'm so excited to see those photos. It's really cool. So I'm Lisa Newcomb. I'm the Executive Director at Crops. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of how we kind of met Karen, and then the funding that we applied for and the reason for that, to sort of bring it all together and get the app here in New Jersey. So I guess probably I met Karen in 2019, I think, shortly before our organizations were involved in the founding of the New Jersey Food Democracy Collaborative with Janine and everybody there. And as Janine said, the Inclusive Markets Work Group under the Food Democracy Collaborative was, I believe, the first work group in the Food Democracy Collaborative. And so that was myself and Karen and Emilio from the Urban Ag Cooperative up in Newark. And we have just probably been talking on a weekly basis ever since then about this issue of supporting farms financially in New Jersey in a meaningful way, and also getting that food grown by farmers in New Jersey to, our most food insecure communities across the state, but really just to everybody across the state. So when Karen told me about all of her work in Kentucky, which was, I mean, you had been working there for about, close to 20 years. The app had been around for many years. And I was like, we have to do that here. I just fell in love with Karen and her personality, and and the story of the app is so awesome, because it takes a for-profit business from the private sector into nonprofit work and into community work. And a lot of us at the Food Democracy Collaborative are so grassroots, so involved in at the community level, and all of our programming is influenced by community members. So it's just such a beautiful marriage of so many different groups. And so, over the years, we've just continued to work with Karen and kind of like checked in, where she was at, and I sort of never let go of the idea of like, how could we bring the New Roots Fresh Stop Markets model to New Jersey? And then Crops will actually be 10 years old next year, which is super exciting. And one of the funding initiatives that we got close to the end of 2023 was with the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority in Atlantic City. And so that funding was used for a project and for sort of an overall initiative to essentially build out a food system in Atlantic City, focused on not just a grocery store, which is a big focus for the city, but to sort of invest time, energy, resources into the local food, the existing food infrastructure in the city. So with corner stores that already exist, and pantry partners and things like that already exist, but then to also build up parts of the food system that are kind of lacking and missing. So through that funding, we have an urban farmer training program, and then we also have funding to put towards our SNAP and WIC accessible farmers markets. And then we were lucky enough to, in all of the groundwork that we sort of laid with that food system building grant and initiative with the CRDA, we applied for both funding from NJFSI, so the New Jersey Food Security Initiative, which is through Robert Wood Johnson and FRAC. And then after that, we applied for the NJEDA Atlantic City Food Security Pilot Grant Fund, which came to Atlantic City. Well, the application was started actually a little bit more than a year ago. And then we worked with the NJEDA and our partners, which is the Atlantic County Economic Alliance, and so Max is on the call as well. So we worked with the ACEA to create an application to the NJEDA funding based all around bringing the New Roots Fresh Stop Markets model to Atlantic City. And we're just so excited, that it worked out, and it's really a way for us to focus on building a sustainable, reliable pathway to good food. So it helps us address food affordability because it's sliding scale. It's a reliable, ongoing source of food that is affordable. But we're not, as Karen said, we're not shortchanging farmers. We're paying them for their food. We're not asking them to donate it. We're not just taking what's left over. We're actually making requests to farmers about what community members want to see in their boxes of food. We're preserving farms and creating markets that they would not ordinarily have in terms of selling their food, as well as addressing the transportation issue, which is one of the reasons why a grocery store has been a kind of back and forth controversial question in our area around food desert communities. So the fact that the Fresh Stop Markets is able to pop up in different parts of the city is really helpful to different parts of different communities accessing that food. And, because it is an exchange of, food and dollars, whether you're paying from SNAP or WIC, or you're paying with a credit card or cash or whatever, and whether you're paying on the at either end of the spectrum of the sliding scale, you're creating a food economy. You're contributing to the food economy. So it's something that we hope that, and we know will be an ongoing piece rather than something that ends once the funding timeline is over. So that's us. We were super excited to get the funding from the EDA and the NJFSI in order to bring the app to New Jersey, geolocated to New Jersey. That was the very first step, and that was exciting. And now we fast forward to now, Soph has done such a great job that all of our farm share customers are integrated into the app, and they're all using it, and it's been really beautiful. And so I was going to talk about some of the other really cool things that we've done based off of what Karen did in Kentucky. But I also just wanted to ask Max from the Atlantic County Economic Alliance to just jump on for a second and say a little bit about, I think we are strange partners on paper. A food justice nonprofit organization and a nonprofit focused on economic development. I don't think necessarily, if you had no idea about what either one of us do, you would think that we would be partners on something like this. But I actually think that that's why the partnership is beautiful. So Max, can you just tell us a little bit about why you said yes to partnering with Crops?
Okay, well, Lisa, I disagree with you respectfully. I think this makes perfect sense from an economic development perspective. This is the creation of a new marketplace in cyberspace, bringing together suppliers and demanders. We have a need in our center cities in food deserts, and we have suppliers, our local farmers, who are probably the oldest industry outside of fishing in the whole area. And this is a complete break from the way we've addressed situation in the past, from the free market to trying to take care of those people who are least capable of accessing fresh fruits and vegetables. Highly perishable industry. We have to get it to them within a day or two. This is a great leap forward. We're very proud to be part of this. I'm proud our organization is working with Lisa and Alexis and their progressive leadership. I think that this will probably be a major success with the state, probably within the next 2 to 3 years. And I say, let's knock the bugs out if there's any left, and let's put the pedal to the metal, and let's do good things, and not only help the people from our community, but also our farmers who, quite frankly, they might be asset rich, but, revenues are not something they can take for granted. So this is a great way to address it all. So Lisa, thank you for letting the Atlantic County Economic Alliance be a part of this. I hope in the future we're able to find just as worthy projects to be a part of. Oh, by the way, can you download this from the App Store?
You
Yes.
may, and you may become a shareholder.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Thanks so much, Max.
Thank you.
I will agree with you. We are beautiful, beautiful partners. I think what I meant is that unfortunately, economic development is not something that is ordinarily correlated with farming, which is something that we're trying to change. It's not something that you hear often, that we are out there promoting farms the way that we really should as the third largest industry in the state.
Lisa, if I may, just one last thing before I shut up, is that farming and fisheries is a major target industry for us. Once again, it's our oldest industry here in Atlantic County. We believe that even though it's one of the smaller industry sectors, it's a sector that we need to encourage and hold on to for obvious reasons. There's great nutritional benefit to them being here in the area. And of course, there's nothing better than driving out in the middle of the county and seeing 100 open acres growing whatever they're growing. So this is, and I hope that maybe one day we can bring in the shellfishery fleets in Atlantic City. That's the largest shellfishery fleet on the East Coast. So, I mean, that's significant. And in Cape May, though it's another county, I think they're number 3 as far as fishery landings. And if there's any way that that this could be tweaked one day to bring those products into the stream, I'd be in 7th heaven myself. So
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, I hear the challenge, Max.
I love it.
it.
Fish stop market.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, I want to
Okay.
introduce my good friend and colleague, Soph, who is the Food Distribution Coordinator Extraordinaire of Crops in Atlantic City. Take it away, Soph.
Hi, hey everyone. Yeah, my name is Soph. I've been working for Crops since last year, last July actually, running our farmers markets, which are obviously, SNAP and WIC inclusive, all the food benefits, as well as like some of our educational workshops and stuff like that. So I want to talk a bit about our timeline and what it's looked like to run our farm share program as like almost a demo before the app was up and running and geolocated, to now when it is geolocated and up and running. I'm gonna like share some slides in the background too, just so they're there. But I'll probably get to those later. It's just for pictures because I love having pictures around. So last year last year was like the planning process. And then when we officially launched our Fresh Stop Market, our farm share program in New Jersey, we started with like 15 people. They all, paid in person with me in advance. They would come to the food hub and we'd work out some payment. At first, we were accepting like 5 types of payment. We were taking Cash Card, Venmo, PayPal, like however you could get it out. We were taking it, and people picked up like 4 shares of produce grown from Reed's Farm in Egg Harbor Township, as well as some Vineland produce distributors like from Anthony Liberto at DeMarco Produce Co., who's on our board. And then from that, we kind of transitioned into our last spring share. So April, May, we went up to 20 people. Same great produce, a little bit more now that it's warming up. So we had some new people come in. And we had the same SNAP shareholders actually retained over multiple rounds, which I think is really special. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from folks who are paying with SNAP in particular about the affordability of the program and the quality of the produce. Like, we're spending $12 a month for one household for like multiple shares. That's really, really special. And really good quality food that truly is like so expensive if it was sold at like ShopRite or something like that. So we've had really good progress there. And then in the past couple weeks, we've been able to implement the app. So the Fresh Stop Markets app has been it's been really interesting. All the things that Karen said have basically come true, where, challenging the idea that just because it's technology means like, oh, well, older people don't get tech, like they're not going to sign up. Completely untrue. Or any other challenges that we faced about it being confusing or difficult, like we've been defeating all of those negative premonitions. So it's been really awesome. As Lisa said, all of our folks from the spring shares have transitioned into the app. I had 2 people the other day, like unprompted, tell me how easy it was to set up. So I was like, that's really good to hear. Thanks, guys. Another like benefit of the app is how easy it is to replicate. So as Lisa mentioned, and as Karen mentioned, we have one market fully running now, another in progress with the dates to be released soon in a different neighborhood in Atlantic City, so people can access that food easier within a closer walking distance or driving distance. And we're also doing like a fun hybrid experimentation using the app so we can accept summer WIC and senior farmers market nutrition program benefits to prepay, but pre-reserve for our farm shares through that WIC market that we have at the WIC office because it's very busy. And so we're interested to see how that'll play into that model. In the past 5 months, I think we've had everyone come to the Food Hub address, and we're going to expand to up to 60 shareholders come summertime and as the other 2 markets open up. So we're really excited for that. Yeah, Karen, you've been amazing. Like, I wrote down a bunch of notes. The next ones are just like, Karen's been amazing. But Karen and all the New Roots folks and my whole team have like been such good guides through this program of including people and getting real tangible feedback and implementing it. And so the last thing I want to share is a bit about a shareholder story that Karen recommended I include. So I have two good stories for everyone to show how this app is like, you know, being implemented beyond just like on a phone screen. It's really changing things and how we can connect with folks and this program as a whole. So last week or a week ago, and Cookie's on this call, a lot of our shareholders, we had about a dozen people come out to visit Reed's Farm. All the shareholders were like so excited. Some of them brought like siblings or family or anything like that, partners. And we toured the farm, got to see where our food was being grown. We had a demonstration for a vegan tzatziki being made on site with the fresh food from the farm, all the herbs, all the cucumbers that were just coming up. It was a really beautiful way to get in and like tie that knot and the link between farmers and eaters, because that link has been so long and continuously and deliberately corroded. And so it's been really amazing to bring those things back together with our partners at Reed's and with our shareholders now who live in Atlantic City or just are in Atlantic City. And for our other shareholder story, I think she's actually on this call. So like I might call you out, Lisa. I don't know if she's here.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa Holland is here. Hey.
Hey,
Oh my
how
God.
are you? Hi,
How are you?
everybody.
Hey. Lisa, I was gonna share our story about when you, me, Chef Ecstasy, and Karen went to Greens and Grains for a little dinner to talk about the program. This was like right before the app dropped. So we wanted to get all your feedback over produce and everything. And Lisa, do you remember what you said at the end of that meeting when we were about to go to our cars?
Well, I was just so full. Karen was just talking about being emotional. I get emotional when I talk about food, but I get even more emotional when I talk about how food can impact kids. And so we had a lot of conversations about that. So you're gonna have to remind me because I was overwhelmed. First of all, thank you for inviting me. I'm actually a new shareholder, but food's my passion. My family has a long history of feeding people, and so this seems to be the right fit for me. So tell me exactly which conversation you're referring to because there was so
Yeah.
much going on.
Yeah, at the end of that conversation, you had said that you felt like you finally met your tribe. And that
Oh,
was really
yes.
good.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I'm recently retired. I was an art teacher for 25 years. Prior to that, I was in marketing and advertising, got burnt out, decided, you know what, it's time to give back. And so that's how I became a teacher. Best job ever. But in this time of being off, I've kind of been quietly searching for a place where I feel like I belong. So again, because of my passion for food, I thought, you know, either I'm going to get involved with a program that is helping to feed. So I looked at Feeding America. I've been a little involved in the local food bank. Through the school, I actually tried to start a pantry before I retired, and I couldn't get it going. And it really sort of broke my heart because even though I taught art, I taught a lot of other lessons, and a lot of them are connected to food and nutrition. Okay, so wherever I could get that into my lessons. So for me, when Soph asked me to be part of this meeting, I was like, you know what, God hears me because I actually was praying for a place to be. And so I'm just so excited to be a part of Crops. Hey, Lisa. I don't see her
Thank
too
you.
often, so.
Thank you, Soph. Thank you, Lisa.
Okay,
I'm
so.
going to hand it over now to yet another Lisa. My good friend and colleague, Lisa Weber from Norwest Cap. She's the Senior Director for Food Security and Health Equity in Northwest Jersey. Take it away.
Okay, so thank you, Karen, and thank you, everyone. I think Norwest Cap is the newest partner. I joined Norwest Cap about 2 years ago, and I want to say I met Christine Peruta right after that, and Karen Moskowitz shortly after that. So I could not be more thrilled about the partnership that we have across the state with Karen, Christine, and Lisa Newcomb. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our work. So Norwest Cap we're celebrating our 60-year anniversary and not-for-profit. And we serve Northwest New Jersey. So when we embarked on this partnership, we received the initial funding as part of the New Jersey Innovative Healthy Food Retail Initiative, which allowed us to introduce this farm share model and a Fresh Stop Market in a designated food desert in Northwest New Jersey in Phillipsburg. So there's really two elements of the overall model. We are very committed to food justice and tackling food insecurity through bold, community-driven solutions. And I think that's what you've heard from everyone already on this call. And maybe what's a little bit unique about our model is that we're introducing the farm share model, but at the same time, we are opening a retail store. So we're hoping that the Phillipsburg Fresh Stop Market retail store will be the go-to spot for fresh local food for Phillipsburg. We've identified a great location that's right in sort of the center, the heart of Phillipsburg, a walkable part of the community. And I should call out what's really amazing about the partnership with Karen and Christine and others is that they're guiding us through this proven model with the sliding scale farm share, but also looking at locations for us. What might be the best location for the store and guiding us, every step of the way in terms of how to make this really work and connect with the community in the right way. So, so we are preparing to launch on June 26th. So less than 2 weeks from now. And we will be opening the store, which will be open 3 days a week in Phillipsburg, bringing sort of this vibrant selection of fresh, locally grown produce straight from local farmers, but we'll also have dairy items like milk and cheese and fresh bread and locally sourced meats and essential shelf-stable grocery items in this beautiful retail space. And we love that we're doing this all at the same time that we're introducing the Farm Share program through this beautiful New Roots app that was developed with Slingshot. So we, just to give you some context, we opened the app in sort of like a mid-May timeframe, targeting June 26th. And within 2 weeks, we had sold out our target of 100 shares. So excited about that. And it was sort of a beautiful mix of those who are SNAP participants, lower income participants, and food justice shares. Just as Karen told us it was going to play out, it played out just like that. I've shared, just because I want to be conscious of time, I shared the link to our website page in the chat. And you'll see sort of how we're telling the story of the farm share model, 3 farmers who we've engaged. So we'll have our first distribution on Thursday, June 26th, and then it will be every 2 weeks. We didn't want to do every week. We thought every 2 weeks was the right amount of distributions for us to launch. And it's a partnership of 3 farmers, 1 lead farmer and 2 other farmers who are helping to really bring this beautiful assortment together of 6 to 8 items for every distribution. And so one other thing, just in terms of economic development, investing in our farmers, we have the 3 core farmers for the farm share, but we've also already identified 10 other farmers who are going to be bringing product to us at our store. Really want to highlight the farmers, want to highlight the local produce. And just like Soph said, even just starting to interact with some of our shareholders is amazing to hear their stories. Can't wait to meet them all. So, so we've been able to sort of leverage this beautiful proven model app, and can't wait to sort of see how it all comes together with our first distribution. All right,
Thank
Karen.
you, Lisa. You're amazing.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask Christine Parada from Food Shed Alliance. She's the Food Access Director. Take it away, Christine.
Thank you. I want to just have you all recognize this. It's a smile. And that smile is because you've left me little to say. All of you have touched upon the value for farmers in this app and in this Fresh Stop Market model. I want to especially shout out Max, the economic development person on our call, for highlighting again the value of our farmers in our state. And when even the tech guys talk about their love of veggies and their visit to farms, we are definitely on the right track. I want to thank Karen for placing me at the end of this, close to the end of the agenda, because I think the passionate colleagues that have spoken before me have really done a great job in outlining what the Fresh Stop Market is really all about. For the Food Shed Alliance, this work has been incredible because 2 areas within our mission are really addressed. And this is access to markets for regenerative farmers and food access for all. So we are thrilled to be a part of this project and working in partnership with NorWestCap and all the strengths that they bring to the table. And Karen, you know, given her vision and her endless veggie passion, have really made this project a success, as I think it will be for all eaters and especially for our farmers. You know, I know we're running over time. The only other thing I would say is really to understand the value of this for our farmers, our local farmers, keeping this project local, having the food travel a short distance to the market, really important, and offering the farmers a viable way to move forward and serve food insecure families and all families. This is really important. Farmers don't always have the capacity to serve this population. It's very difficult. So this allows farmers to really participate in this work, this food justice work and model that really is food for all. I will leave it there and thank you for having me speak, Karen.
Thank you, Christine. You are amazing. Thank you for all you do for the farmers, for the people. Appreciate you. Next up is Farmer Cookie Till from Atlantic County. Take it away, Cookie. After Cookie speaks, we're going to hear from my friend and colleague, Mark Dinglassen from the Office of Food Security Advocate for the state of New Jersey. If you want to stay on, I'll answer questions. If you have to go, I understand. Take it away, Cookie.
Hello. Well, first of all, I'm not a farmer, but I love farming and I am a founder of Reed's Farm. And I will make it quick because I know we're running low on time. But thank you for inviting me to the call. Thank you for developing this app. I feel like timing is everything. To put it in perspective to people that don't know Reed's Farm, we are like 14 minutes outside of Atlantic City. So we're like such a good location to Atlantic City where I grew up. That is a food desert right now. And the timing that is right is that our mission, part of our mission is food security and it's specifically to Atlantic City. And as we are growing and growing more food, connecting with crops has been an amazing, I feel like they're our sister nonprofit because we work so well together and we're getting food into the city, which is one of the things I thought was going to be the biggest obstacle. And then now with this app, it's just, I understand it a lot more now that I've been on this call. So thank you for all the explanation. And I just think like the sky's the limit, we're going to really blow it up in Atlantic City and get food there. And it's just going to be, it's going to go from a food desert to a food town, and it's going to be fresh, local, farmer driven, economic, keeping the economics local, and everything that I think all these people on the call are advocates for. And I think we're going to see it in our town very soon. So thank you.
Thank you, Cookie. In Reed's Farm, a meaningful purpose. I'm sorry I didn't introduce you correctly, Cookie. A meaningful purpose at Reed's Organic Farm. Someone noticed that the speaker is not showing up. So I don't know, Janine, if you can fix that or so. But
yeah, sorry, I adjusted it for Lisa and then I forgot to switch it back. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. I want to introduce my friend and colleague, Mark Dinglassen from the Office of Food Security Advocate. Mark will tell you all about how he was a very big supporter of me moving toward this hard work in New Jersey. So I thank you, my friend. I don't even know what to say. Take it away.
I appreciate you, my friend. So I think one of the ways for all of us that do this kind of work, a good litmus test of doing good work, right? You'll all agree with me, is if your name is spoken in rooms when you're not even in the room. And I met Lisa, I met Karen, geez, must have been 4 or 5 years ago now, Karen, but it was actually the director of the New Jersey Office of Resilience. I was doing collective impact work in Patterson, and he said, there is somebody amazing that's doing this work south of you. You need to meet her because you guys talk and think the same way. And it was Karen Moskowitz. And she and I have been collaborating even before I came to state government. Karen, I think everybody that knows you seems to have a version of telling you you need to bring new roots to New Jersey. And I will tell all of you, my version was a little bit more honest. And I was 5 years into being friends with Karen, so I felt like I could be this honest with her. And I'm going to paraphrase Karen because I know like my words were out of love, but also very intense. I told Karen, I need you to stop messing around and wasting your time doing other things. And I need you to do what you were meant to do here in New Jersey. And what I meant by that is I needed her to bring new roots to New Jersey. I told her this because one of the things that I was blown away by when I first learned about Karen's work in New Roots is that it was a way to utilize technology to create markets and economic mobility. Yeah, stay the course. It's a way to create markets and economic mobility for farmers, right? We're talking about market creation, we're talking about economics, but we're also talking about building community power. We're talking about engaging community and giving community a voice. We're talking about getting people that are on SNAP and WIC to actually be able to access the food that they need, right? We have so many farms, as Max had mentioned, we have so many fisheries, so many farms here. We have the food, and food insecurity continues to rise in New Jersey. It's been rising since 2018. As part of the governor's office, I get to go into the rooms and in the executive branch and the legislative branch and say, we have the food and we have the people that need the food. How can we push ourselves to get smarter, to become more brave about how we do this? And this is one of the bravest initiatives that we have here in New Jersey, right? And we have to keep pushing to do it. We're using technology to engage community, both our agricultural community and our underserved communities, to bring our local food systems together and create a more resilient food system. So Karen, I'm so excited that you stopped messing around and started doing the thing that you were meant to do. Right? We're all created for a purpose. I truly believe this is yours, and I think you're only at the beginning. As your friend, I will be here to call you out when I need you to do something, and when I feel like I need you to rock out even more. But as your food security advocate, as the food security advocate for all of you, my commitment to you all is, as you do brave things and hard things, we're going to stand right by all of you shoulder to shoulder and advocate for your work. So congrats, Karen. Congrats to Lisa Weber. Congrats to Soph and Lisa Newcomb. Congrats to all of you on all of this.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much, all of you, for speaking and spending your time and for everything that you do for New Jersey. We have a few minutes left. If there's maybe 1 or 2 questions, I could stay on. I don't have to be anywhere till 1. If people want to ask me questions, I put my email in the chat. So
Max signed up. He's a farm shareholder.
I'll be seeing him in 2 weeks. Yeah.
this is what it takes. No. Yes, Brendan, please.
Hi, Brendan from the SADC Next Gen Farmer Program. How do I get a farmer involved in this? If I've got farmers that might be interested in selling to this program, who do I send them to? How do I get them signed up?
Yeah, so what we're waiting on next, Brendan, is some funding to expand into 4 different counties So if this happens, we're looking for farmers in Camden County, Salem County, Passaic County, and Mercer County.
I would say preliminarily too, Karen, if I might, like, Brandon, you can certainly share any farmer's contact information. I can keep a file on it. That would be fabulous. In the meantime, if that's of any value, I would be happy to collect any of that information.
Yep.
Who
Yep,
was the
absolutely.
speaker who said that? I didn't.
It's
see that.
Christine from the Food Shed Alliance.
Oh, Christine. Okay, excellent.
Yep.
I will keep that in mind. And yeah, as I hear from farmers that are looking for markets, I will shoot them your way.
And Christine, yeah, thank you for keeping track of that. That's going to be important. Any other questions or comments?
Yes, hello.
Karen?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Hi, everyone.